Wow, you guys really are not good at social distancing. Yeah, don't you know? Like 6 feet away from each other? That's the rule. Can you, can you respect that, please? No? No? Okay, well. Hey, hey, respect it. Social distancing, respect it. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, stop. Stop following me. Stop it. Hey. Hey. Stop it. Stop it. Whew, okay. Hello, Froe here for another Let's Play episode. I'm trying to think of what we want to do for today. I think to get started, I'm just going to clean up the house a little bit. Do some housekeeping, like tear down some of those trees and some of the early game farms that we have so that we can start working on establishing ourselves a little bit better. Part of that is getting rid of this huge clump. Take care of all these cows at once with the butcher. It's got fire aspect too and looting, so I'm going to get tons and tons of nummy steak here. So let's see how well this works. Holy cow, yeah, that worked really well. So we got just about, 4 stacks of steak. That should last us a little while here. The rest of my herd is over here. They keep kind of wandering away. I don't know why. It's like they're afraid of me or something. Anyways, last episode we worked on building the storage room, which is right over there. I didn't get a lot done in between episodes here in the storage room, but I did do some other fun stuff. I died again, unfortunately, which kind of stinks, so we'll have to work on sacrificing another item. I don't think we're going to use the Sacrificer 1.0, though. I have an idea for a pretty easy Sacrificer 2.0 idea we can make. But that'll be a little bit later in the episode, I think. Before we get there, I kind of wanted to just clean up all the clutter we have around this little area here. Move the chests out of the way, bring all of our items back into the storage room, all that kind of fun stuff. So let's get to it. Oh. Uh-oh. All right, so things are starting to get a little bit cleaner around here. Still got to move all of these chests and all the items over to the storage room, as well as the map, the enchanting area, the Sacrificer 1.0, these death markers here as well. Alrighty, check it out. So, got all that area kind of cleaned up a little bit, and this entire hill cleaned up, except for a couple little torches and this bed. Next thing is going to be to clear up the wheat field, but I need to make another wheat field, probably over there or something, so that'll be a little bit later. This stuff's got to find a final resting place as well, so I got to take care of that, but again, that'll be in a little bit. What I wanted to show you was how I categorize my items, and I'm still kind of playing around with the how I'm going to categorize them, but this is what it looks like so far. So looking at it, I try to group things kind of relatively in a logical way. So I got all different types of logs. So I'll have like logs, stripped logs, stuff like that in here. And then here's like refined wood products. So lumber, like planks and chests and stuff like that. Then I have saplings, just leaves, plain old dirt, sand, some gravel, and mycelium. Over here we have our different types of stones. Here we have different kinds of plants. So we got like seeds and kelp and bamboo, and then this will be flowers, and this is farming products. Anything that has a blank item frame, it is just unused at the moment. Here I have just a bunch of unsorted stuff I still have to kind of clean up. Minecart stuff, decoration items, usable tools. So my best tools are here. Armor. Raw ores, redstone stuff, my valuables, so like diamonds, emeralds, iron, all that kind of fun stuff that I get from mining, and then like my treasured items, so like my original tools, music disc, EXP, hearts of the sea, yeah, and then mob loot and food. So here's like my food supply and skeleton and zombie drops, gunpowder, spider drops, and miscellaneous mob drops, and then like friendly mobs. That's how I'm categorizing it for now. I have a lot of empty space still, and I'm sure it'll fill up. So like for example, cobblestone's already almost filled. So I'll probably have to make a more dedicated deep storage area for cobblestone and other blocks that you gather a lot of. Our next project is going to be working on the Sacrificer 2.0. I've been working on a design for the Sacrificer 2.0, and this is what I've kind of come up with. Pretty simplistic design. I have this clock that's running, and it's activating these two droppers at alternating intervals. So this left dropper is facing into the right one, and the right one's facing into the left one, which means whenever I put an item in this dropper, right, you see this hay bale, when it's activated, it's shooting into the right hopper and vice versa. So this hay bale is kind of just bouncing between the two different droppers here. And that is our randomizer as a whole. And the reason why I'm picking droppers as our randomizer is every slot here has a random chance of being dropped if there's an item in there. So if I put two items inside like this, we're going to notice that they, like every time they flash like that, that's it transferring to the other dropper here. And here's maybe another example here. If we notice they're kind of like randomly placed into this dropper here. So that's our randomizer. I put items in here, like all my items here, they get split between the two and shuffled evenly that way. So to give you an example of what I mean by that is I'm going to take out these items here. So they're just, there we go. So there's just going to be my armor and tools and stuff in the shuffler. So I placed them in, and we're just going to kind of watch them shuffle around a little bit. Keep in mind, this is just a prototype. I have not finalized this design yet, but this is what it's kind of looking like so far. Pretty random. Right? And then the last thing is, well, how do I decide which item is going to be sacrificed? And the way that works is I have a hopper attached to the dropper here, but this hopper is locked, so nothing can go inside of it right now because of this redstone torch. But if I press this button, it's going to turn off the redstone torch just long enough for one item to hop into this dropper here. It works pretty well, so there's nothing in the hopper yet. Those are the items. If I press the button, one item is going to pop into here. And in this case, it was the boots, so that would be the item that we sacrifice. I still have a couple little things I have to work on, like how do I retrieve these items a little bit cleaner and like more efficiently, and how do I get my items out of the shuffler once I'm done sacrificing. So still got to do a little bit playing around, but this is the working design. What I've been thinking is I'm going to make it so that I don't want to see any of the redstone, and I also don't want to see any hoppers or anything like that. So basically I want this whole thing to be kind of just self-contained, and I think I'm going to do it underground. So the way I'm going to drop my items off to be sacrificed is I'm just going to literally drop them onto the ground into a hopper array system that I'm going to build right here. So I'm going to have a hopper here, and then It's kind of like underneath the floor. And I can put a trapdoor or carpet or half slabs, I think. Else I can also use hopper minecarts to do this, but basically now I can just drop items in here and they're gonna fall into this hopper right here. So that's how I'm gonna add items to the system. To retrieve them or to get the items that I did sacrifice, I'm gonna have it pop out right here and kind of like shoot off into the air somehow. And the rest of the items I'll have pop out, I don't know, somewhere else. I'll figure that out in a little bit. But I wanted to just show you this little bit of planning on camera. So now, one little tip I will give you about redstone is dig yourself a lot of space. Right, so plan out your interface, so to speak, like I just did, and then create a ton of space for yourself to work with, because there's nothing like having to clear out more land just so that you could build a little bit more of a circuit. Okay, and so the next thing I want then is we're gonna have a double chest here, and this is where the seed goes. So I drop the items and they come into here. What I want to do is make it so that this doesn't happen until I press the button. So I'm going to put a redstone torch right here. Oop, not like that. Like this to lock this hopper. So now anything that goes in this hopper isn't going to flow into the chest yet. And then from here, I'm going to have 2 more hoppers. And where are my droppers? And then those feed right into the droppers. Now I need to create my redstone clock, which really isn't going to be too bad. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to start by making a monostable circuit, I believe it's called. What I want it is to be like a 1-tick pulse for the clock. And I just do a simple 3x3 clock. So we can do 1, 2, something like this. I'm going to put them to max setting right now because I don't remember what it is exactly. And then to turn this on, I'm just going to put a piece of redstone feeding into it right here, I suppose. Yeah, like that. So we'll put a piston here with a block on top of it and a repeater that is fed from it. So now if I were to press a button here, a button is normally pressed for like a couple seconds. Like if you notice that's like a whole second. But we don't want that for the clock here. Instead, we want a very quick pulse. So doing this, it's going to make it so that it's a very, very quick pulse. Right, and so that's our very easy to set up clock. I can make it go a little bit faster by turning all of these quicker, but not too quick, because then they turn off. So we do have to be careful of that. That's probably pretty stable. We do go that fast. Oh, it is pretty fast. I think that's too fast for the droppers to keep up though, so we're going to just tune it down by a little bit. And then from there, what we can do is pull 1 piece of redstone. Since this repeater is powering this block, I can pull power from it into 2 different into the droppers like so. And now I think, is that bouncing between the 2? No, it doesn't look like it is. So this repeater is powering this dropper directly. And so then, since this dropper is touching this one, it's also actually powering that one kind of diagonally. So we do have to be careful of that. So to fix that, what you can do is add a block to each side like that. And then do one over here instead. So now this repeater is powering this block, which then is touching this dropper, so it's able to activate. And yeah, so now they're both at the same setting, and look at this, they're alternating now. Redstone torch there, and then a hopper beneath it. So this is going to be where we extract our items. And I was trying to think about how I want to make it so that it's some of the items go that way and some of them go that way. What I'm working with here is this torch is turning this hopper off, and this one is turning this hopper off. And what I want to do is when I press the button, like when I press the sacrifice button, for example, that one, this torch will turn off until all the items have emptied from the dropper. And this torch will turn off for just 1 item to come through. So then 1 item will snake through and it'll go to the left. The rest of them will go to the right. At least that's the idea. I haven't gotten the timing down yet. Still got to play around with it. I don't think I showed it either. So here's our storage room. I'm building it right on top of that hill. This is where I'm going to build the Sacrificer 2.0. Press this button, and in theory, one item should appear here, and the rest of them should appear here, and it should completely empty that out. So let's take a look. So no item here, but it did all empty out. So let's check that timing again. This might need to be a little bit longer. I fill this up with items again. Good thing I have all these junky items on me. So the system's pretty much filled up. Again, it's favoring this left side over the right. That's perfect. That's what we want because it's shuffling. And in theory, we want exactly one item to appear out here. Let's see. And they didn't make it. So it might be a problem with this taking too long. I gotta think about this. So I think I got a working design. So what I did is I put 2 minecarts inside. The way it works is initially I press the button and that allows one item inside of here, and then I detect if there's an item in here, I power it for just a little bit longer, just enough time for it to shoot out over here and then turn off so that the rest of them can flow this way. I tried it once. Let's see if it works again. It's important to always test your contraptions many times. So 1 cart there and 1 over there. We can try it again. This time we're going to try with more items than just 2. Maybe we do a couple power rails, a hopper here, drop a more mine carts or mine rails. So we got a handful of items inside. Ideally, all of them except for 1 come here and 1 over here. So let's do it. Yeah, so I was worried about that. If you notice, this was on for just a little bit longer. I tore out what I had there because it wasn't working the way I wanted it. And I have a little bit of an idea for a different version of it. So what this little contraption here does is it makes sure that when I press the empty everything button, everything gets removed from the dropper. So an example of that is, right, so now we have 30 items inside of there and nothing in the chest. As soon as I activate this part of the build, it's gonna start draining the items until all of them are completely empty. And then this is gonna turn back on, locking that hopper. So kind of like self-resetting itself. So there it is. Now it's reset, ready to go again. All the items are over here. Moving on to the next part then, we need to figure out how we're going to decide the winner. And the way we're going to do this is actually a little bit easier than I was thinking. Uh-oh. It's not going to work though if there's a full block up there. We might be able to cheese it though with a half block. Let's see what's up here. Nothing. Okay. So we can leave that like that. Okay. And here we're going to actually have 2 different hoppers. So one that goes that way and then one that maybe goes straight down. Let's turn this back off. Sorry, I keep forgetting about that and I kind of tune it out, so I'm sure that's really annoying for the video. So we're going to do this. Again though, we're going to have a 1 tick pulse generator. We'll do it right here. If you can't tell, I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to redstone. I kind of just mess around with things until they work the way I want, which is pretty... it works for me, I guess. That should work, actually. As soon as I press this button, it's going to power these torches for just a second, I'm starting emptying the droppers. And then at the same time, it's also going to turn off this torch for just a moment so that some items can pour into here. And then the rest of them are going to pour into this hopper over here. So that's the ideal system. We should have 1 item here and then the rest of them pouring this direction into the right hopper. So let's see it. Let's see if it works. That did not work the way we wanted. What went wrong? So first off, there should be, instead of a repeater there should actually be one, say, like right here. Okay, let's try it again. Add our items. Okay, so we have a handful of items inside. Try it again. Oh, this is not set long enough. Okay, so that's another problem. This is good that we're messing around with it. Press the button. Okay. No items in there, and the rest of them are out here. Okay, so still not quite what we wanted. Let's just turn you off for a second. And let's do that so it doesn't turn on. We're going to just put items inside of here and press the button. So that works. I think we just need more of a delay here then. So, okay, we have items being shuffled around in there. We're going to turn the button on. And no items there yet, but... Or there. Wait, what did I mess up? Oh, that. Okay. That would fix it. This will hopefully work then. No. Been messing around with everything, the timing and stuff like that, and I think I have a working design. So we have all of our items being kind of shuffled around. If I press this button, all of them are going to exit to this hopper or stay in the chest if there's not enough room, and exactly one item should appear here. So I haven't tested it fully yet, but let's see if it works. So we got one item that went to the left here to this hopper, and then the rest of them are going to the right. If I create more space for these to run into, that should be a little bit better. A little bit better of a test, yeah. So they're shuffling around, and if we press the button, a little bit of a delay, which I could probably change, but I'm fine with it. It's cool to have a little bit of delay. One item goes to the left, and the rest of them are in the chest. That's perfect. We need to make it so the clock shuts off automatically too. But yeah, this is definitely coming together. After looking at the design for a little while here, I think I'm pretty comfortable now to move on to my final stage, which is tear everything, not everything down, but kind of reassemble things in a little bit more compact and more efficient way, and kind of polish it up. So I'm going to do that off camera though. I'm not going to show you that process, but I will show you the end result of the redstone here. I think it was really cool though to show you some of the problem solving aspects though so far. Okay, so check this out. Ready? Can you see that? So press this button. Somehow it's turning that torch off, but it's not lighting up this redstone at all. That's kind of cool. I wonder if I like reset it. Maybe it's just like a... Oh, that's still happening. Weird. Okay, here it is. It's still a work in progress in terms of the aesthetic of it, but I got all the functionality correct. So the way this works is I wanted to make everything kind of as hidden as possible. So what you do is you step up over here and you can just drop items right into the floor. So we notice, right? So they're going to be going inside of a series of hoppers now. After I've dropped those items like that, it started the contraption. The sacrificer is now shuffling the items around. And all it takes is a press of a button. I'm going to press this button right here, and it's going to activate everything. It's not completed fully. I still have to figure out a way for how I'm going to retrieve the items, but this is where the sacrificed item will pop out, and the other ones will pop out, I don't know, somewhere else, maybe over here or something like that. So press the button, you hear some redstone go off, and eventually we're going to hear a click here. But right now you can hear the shuffler is emptying out all of the items into the sacrificing gizmo. And don't worry, I'm going to show you all of this in just a little bit. I just wanted to really highlight this one part. Okay, so here it comes. We're going to hear a click in just a second. And there it is. There's the one sacrificed item. It happened to be a stone brick this time. Come on, make your way up. So one stone brick. Let's go check out the redstone, and then I'm also going to show you the items that didn't get sacrificed and where they end up. So It's kind of a mess down here. I apologize for that. The intention was to make this kind of neat and easy to present, but kind of ran out of time. So here are all the items that dropped off, and then there's the one piece of stone brick. That other one I picked up was I was just working in here a little bit, and it was left over. So that's kind of a demonstration of it. And I'm going to talk through what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to show you the redstone now, and I'm going to do my best to explain it, but it's pretty complicated for myself to explain, so it's probably better for me to just show you what's happening. So let's simulate. We're going to pretend that we threw items inside of this dropper here. We're going to throw just 40 stone. Right, so that's quite a lot. So technically speaking, there's only room for 18 unique items to be deposited, which is, I think, plenty, because normally I only carry like 7 or 8. So those items are being shuffled right now. And what you might have noticed is this piston popped out right away, and then this clock started. Okay, and I can show you that one more time so you get a little bit better look. So we can take items out of here. Right, the clock is off, piston's retracted. As soon as I put items inside, piston extends, and then the clock starts. So the way that works is there's 2 comparators here that are able to tell when there's items inside of here. This comparator feeds over to here, through here, turns into a monostable circuit, which means it's just one tick pulse. That's why it's so fast like that. And that's what starts the clock. It also extends this piston, which is what allows the clock to continue. So as soon as this piston retracts, the clock automatically turns off. And all that's just done automatically by determining if there's items inside of here or not. So this was actually not the complicated part of this whole project. The most complicated part is what's down below here, and that's where I'm going to have a little bit of challenge explaining. So to get started, this redstone torch is powering this redstone line because it's powering this block right here, which is touching or adjacent to this redstone. And this redstone is feeding into this piston right here, which is extended because the torch is on, which pushes this block here. And the reason why I did that is I was encountering a problem of when I wanted to like get items outside of the dropper here, the clock kept running. And so it would take really long for items to drain because items from this left hopper would continuously flow into this right one. And I didn't have a hopper underneath here. So it would be like, it was like 25 to 30% slower. But what this piston does is when I press the button up above, it retracts this piston, which means the clock is only powering this dropper right here, kind of effectively turning off the clock very quickly, but also making sure that there's no items that are left in the shuffler after pressing the button. So hopefully that makes sense. Following this redstone line, it also goes this direction down here. And this is the little bit more complicated part. So this redstone line is on right now because it doesn't really matter. But what's going to end up happening is, if we notice, there's some comparators right here. These comparators are sensing when items are flowing through this hopper, and it's not going to activate the sacrificing portion of the machine until all the items have drained from the hoppers up above into this chest right here. And it's also going to lock these hoppers right here until all the items are inside of here, and then it's going to activate. So I can show you what that looks like quickly here. So by pressing this button right here, it's the same as pressing the button up above. So I press it, you hear some stuff go off, and what I want you to notice is you hear some clicking. That's the shuffler dropping all of its items out, and then these 2 hoppers here are locked, and all the items are just pouring inside. As soon as all the items are inside, which is about now, you're going to notice this torch turned on, but it flicked off for just a second, and this torch turned off completely. So this torch being on is locking this hopper, and this one being off is unlocking this one, so items can flow through here. So that means these are the items that are not sacrificed, and the one flash, the like 1 tick flash, that was the one item that was sacrificed, and it's shot through these hoppers and brought into a dropper over here and a water stream. I'm not going to break it or show you. That's basically the gist of it. And then after all of that is done, it just turns this torch back on and it sends one pulse to the dropper, shooting the item out, and that's how it works. So the last steps then is to bring these items somewhere to the surface so I can easily retrieve them, but for now that's going to be a project for later. The other thing to note is this comparator here is what's detecting how long it takes for the items to be drained. Once all the items are drained out of this chest here, which means all the items have been either sacrificed or, brought back to the surface, then it resets the entire system and activates the dropper over there. So yeah, that was my pretty crude explanation for it all. I'm just gonna walk around a little bit, let people kind of explore it a little bit more. This is the monostable circuit that causes this to pulse for just a moment, allowing one item to be sacrificed. What else? Yeah, that's about it. With that said, I think it's time for us to put it to the test for real and actually sacrifice an item. So these were the items I was wearing when I last died. So I'm just going to throw them into the machine here. Not the chipper, that's a new one, but also that. Okay, so now all the items are being sorted. I can show you that again. So like they're being randomly kind of moved around. We're going to press this button, and then whatever item shoots out here is the one that we're sacrificing for death number 13, I believe. Oh, and it's starting to rain. Fitting atmosphere for sacrificing an item. So let's look. Uh-oh, was that dirt sacrifice? I'd have to check this. Is there one in there? Oh, okay. So there's a little bit of a bug. And I think the problem is that there's not enough delay, maybe. But so that was a little bit of that was actually good. So you should notice that this is not a perfect system yet, which is fine. I'm still trying to make it a little bit better. I think it just needs a little bit more delay to activate the dropper, but this axe is the axe that we have to sacrifice. So beaver teeth is item number, or death number 13 to be sacrificed. So that kind of stinks. I really like this axe too. But that's those are the rules that I made, so hopefully that explanation was decent enough. It's definitely challenging to kind of explain redstone. I like it. It was a good challenge. It took me about 5 or 6 different tries to really get to an explanation that I liked, and so feel free to ask any questions you have. I'd love to clarify. Last thing I wanted to say before I let you go, though, because it is time for the end of the episode. I don't have enough time for today. In fact, this episode's already taken longer than expected, but I cleared out areas over here, and I kind of have a little bit of a plan for what I want to do. I want this hallway to continue going forward. I'm going to have some entrances and exits over here to get down below, and have a little bridge over here, and then have this hallway extend down a little bit more, because I want to add a couple little nice features, like maybe an automatic furnace system and stuff like that down below there. Still playing around with how I want my base theme to look like. I like this color scheme, like the dark oak with the birch and the bone blocks and the diorite with the brick. The walls, though, I need to get something a little bit better for the walls. This is okay. It's good to have this every once in a while, and I think this as well, but not for the main walls. Also, the building over there is very much a work in progress, so building that along with my storage room over here has really just demonstrated to me that I need to go on some resource collection trips, so get some clay and other wood types and just basically every building block possible so that I can really develop my palette and stuff like that. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one. Stay safe. Froe out.